Our next PechaKucha is Leanne Kemp, Executive Director of the Chilliwack Chamber of Commerce. Prior to taking on her chamber position, Leanna was the Director of Restorative Justice Services in Chilliwack. For many years, she was an operations consultant to the fast food industry, so she knows a thing or two about leadership and motivation. In her spare time, Leanna annually raises tens of thousands of dollars for the BC Cancer Society and BC Sick Kids Hospital through organizing the Ben Meyer Softball Tournament. She is a busy mother of 2 children. Tonight, she will speak to us about her experience in leadership. Leanna, over to you.
First, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the unceded traditional territory of the Stalo people. Leadership is the art of motivating a group of people to act towards achieving a common goal. Sounds pretty easy if you ask me. Leadership is shifting your thinking all of the time. It's being adaptable and flexible, being creative and finding solutions to many problems, admitting you're wrong and learning from your mistakes, and continuous learning. The first thing I want to talk about is truth and reconciliation. Truth and reconciliation is working towards understanding the history, culture, and past wrongdoings to our Indigenous neighbors and fellow community members. Truth and reconciliation is many things to many people, but I firmly believe it is your own journey. Here is mine. My journey started just over 2 years ago when I was offered a seat in a cohort of First Nations historical impacts. I took this 5-week, 15-hour course on historical impacts, and I'm not sure that there are any words to describe the impact that this has had on me. During the course on one of the days, I was asked how the content made me feel, and ignorant was the only word that came to mind. I had never felt so unaware of our country's culture and history as I did then. Most of my stories are related to how, as a leader, I have incorporated some of my learnings into my role to hopefully inspire others to learn as well. Here are just a few things my team and I have worked towards. We ensure that every event hosts a large, an appropriate welcome and recognition of the Stalo territory. We've included dancers and cultural events or cultural components in all of our big events. Recognition of Orange Shirt Day by both wearing orange and attending Orange Shirt Day celebrations. We've hosted a tour of the Chilliwack River Valley and the Coquilitza grounds with Sunny McKelsey. And we hosted a webinar, Don't Step on the Cedar, with Sam Kadji. We've hosted Qualina, a storytelling experience with Dallas Yellowfly. Qualina, a fictional creature that represents the Indian agents who stole Indigenous children from their families and forced them into government-funded schools. I speak of these as great initiatives of both myself, the Chamber, and our community. However, my belief is that they should not have to be spoken of, that they merely become the norm. I know that I came from a place of unconscious ignorance, and it's a place I'm not proud of. However, armed with some education and 2 local chiefs that I am honored to call friends, colleagues, and mentors who have been so instrumental in my learning, their willingness to be open, honest, and non-judgmental has been so helpful. I know that our efforts will continue, and we're that much closer to economic prosperity for all. The second shift I've had to make as a leader is very current, and that's working from home. Having had many leadership roles, I have struggled with this sudden transition to remote work. I worked in an environment that was not supportive or encouraging in any way towards working from home. In fact, that type of flexibility or benefit was for those that earned it. Strike COVID-19 and the pandemic, I recall being very nervous about what this would look like. How would I keep my staff on track and focused at home? How do I make sure that I'm paying them for all the hours that they're working? This is where being adaptable and flexible was so important. With COVID-19 and the schools and daycares closing, I had 2 choices: lose my talented employees or become flexible and adaptable. I chose option 2 and honestly could not be happier. I have an excellent team of individuals who were able to adapt and be flexible with me. And together we created systems that worked for us, such as twice-a-week staff meetings via Zoom and open, honest communication. One big lesson here, and one I hope will help other employers, is that by being open, flexible, and adaptable, you open yourself up to a potentially underestimated talented pool of individuals who want to work and want work-life balance. My team is talented, smart, creative, productive, and so much more. And without being flexible and adaptable, I would have missed out on all of that. The third shift I want to tell you about is that of compassion and kindness. Now more than ever, this is important in any role that we play. As a leader, it's showing your team kindness and compassion in whatever they're dealing with, COVID or otherwise, will only strengthen the bond that you have with your team and the loyalty that your team has to you. As a mom with many mom friends, it became very evident very quickly that we would all handle COVID differently. Every situation that ever gets thrown at you in life affects people differently. Just like we all have different thresholds for pain, our thresholds for change and scary situations is also different. There really is not a one-size-fits-all approach to any situation. I mean, if there was, would parenting not be the easiest job in the whole world? I want to take a moment to recognize or highlight some choices that individuals in our community did to choose kindness in a time of uncertainty. Jail and Bail and the Give-a-thon, and how many community leaders came together to raise money for charitable causes. A photographer who during COVID got creative with photos of newborns by editing photos that the families actually sent in, turning them into beautiful memories. The Chalk Art Initiative, alive in Chilliwack, showing healthcare and frontline workers just how much we care and support them. The principal and teacher who showed up for a grad dinner for 6 students that did not get a grad, with a lovely speech and gift bags for all of them. The messages of hope in the windows all around town. This all happened right here in Chilliwack. With my family, we chose these gestures, supporting local businesses by using their delivery services to deliver goodies to friends and family who needed a little extra love. Teaching our children to be thankful and grateful to those around us by delivering kindness bags on Fridays to those that they chose. If we stretch our limits as human beings, we learn just how rewarding it can be to do the right thing. Kindness has a way of coming back around. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And of course, I don't mean this in a selfish way. Good deeds and gestures of kindness should never have expectations. They should just be real and true. However, when the day comes that you're the one in need, would you not want a helping hand? The most important thing that you can do in this life is to be kind. And never has that been clearer than now during COVID-19. Remember this, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. In closing, I believe that leadership is a big word. It carries a lot of weight and a lot of expectation. It can be hard, but it can also be the most rewarding experience that you will ever have. Follow your heart, never stop learning and adding to your own toolkit. Do unto others as you would want done to you. Give without expectations. Put others first before yourself when possible, and always be true to your morals and values, and great things will happen. Thank you.